Thank you. Now I'm going to be very brief. We are running a little bit behind time, so I will skip through some of this information. I encourage you to come to the Northern Territory Government stall today, and you can talk more about these things. There are also some great examples, some of the ARD's work around developing cultural competence for the Northern Territory Government, and you can do some trials with us and provide some feedback about that, and your experiences would be really valued there. So thank you, Jesse, for the introduction, and thank you to these leaders for the chance to speak first, and I will be brief. My role is quite simply to implement the policies of the government of the day in the region and to bring some contextualisation to those policies in a regional context. And so I guess importantly for us, that means we need to understand our region better, and I've been in the region for about 8 years, and to share some experience from that 8 years is that there was no contextualised induction for me as a senior officer in this region in 2010 and 11 when I arrived, and we're working on that now. So I know that sounds like a long time in between, but this is a learning process for government, and to understand the region better. So what is local decision making? Well, it's quite simply a promise to return control where it has been taken away over the last 10, 15 years for services. And it's in areas like housing, governance, education, health, law and justice, and economic development. And it's really an acknowledgement the government has done things wrong, and you heard the Minister say that before, that over time governments have made well-meaning policies, but perhaps not done them as well as they could have been. And so no part of Australia is the same, and in the Territory that is true as well, and particularly in this region where we have all those things we've been talking about over the weekend, but unbroken culture, language, connection to country and the like. And we need to wrap our heads around that and what that means. And we heard today from the Treaty Commissioner about how much some of those things will be hopefully properly recognised in Territory law as we go forward. But this local decision-making policy is about how we start the work now. And it's really about about communities and regions telling government how they want to be engaged, what's important about delivering services, and about setting priorities. And listening better, frankly. But we can't change everything at once. We might want to, but government is a big machine, and I'm sure you're all well aware of that. And there's moving parts, and there are changes. There might be legislative changes and other things that we need to make. It's about doing things a little bit differently. So there are two ways we're tackling local decision making. The first is just about improving the way government does services, and I'll talk about that in a second. And the second is about place-based agreements. And the Treaty Commissioner was right before that they are not legally but binding agreements at this point. We don't have quite the framework for that yet, and that's what the Treaty Commissioner is looking at, of course. These agreements are political agreements, agreements between leaders and leaders. They will be held to account through those political agreements, but the service transitions that result, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a moment, in Groote Eylandt, for instance, will be legally binding. And of course there's strong links to the work of the Treaty Commissioner and those discussions. So, I'm going to go forward. So this is just a simple graph which shows that really a lot of government services, which is the orange part of the bar, are predominantly controlled by government with a little bit of consultation. And what we are trying to do is shift that balance back. And that's an important piece of work. Oh, now I'm going backwards, forwards. So you know a bit of context. You've been here a few days, and perhaps you've been here every year, or you live in this region. But there are two important language groups or nations in this region: the Yawl Nations and the Undulakwa Nations. And we are trying to recognise that in how services are delivered better. And I won't go into detail because I want to be swift today. I'm still struggling with that. So what is LDM 101 for government? So it's kind of getting our house in order. So We weren't very well connected before. Government services weren't well coordinated. Agencies perhaps were doing their own things. This is about bringing agencies together and underpinning the principles of local decision making, which is empowerment, co-design, the APON principles, which you can find on their website. So we got ourselves a bit more organised. We've got some key regional projects that we are working on, which we think demonstrate that we are doing things differently. And the first one we'll hear about in a moment from Garma Wanambi, who's the Vice Chairman of the ARDS Board, is about cultural competence in government. We will mandate this work across the public service for the people who work in this region. It's been agreed. And that's an important first step. We're supporting in the development of the Central Arnhem Road, making sure that the report in 2010 that said we support the upgrade of the road, that the traditional owners are absolutely the heart of the decision making around that road. And we're supporting economic development measures as well. Oh gosh, I'm really struggling, I know. So in broad terms, our agreement making or our work in local decision making is contextualised by the region. That may sound really simple, but in the truth it has not been like that in the past. So just very quickly, the Grid Archipelago Local Decision Making Agreement, you can find all these agreements on our website, ldm.nt.gov.au, and click on East Arnhem. It is a landmark agreement because it's a 9-year agreement. It has service transitions across housing, education, law and justice, health, economic development, and local government as well. And that's a very important agreement because it's probably the first where we will see quite large-scale change. Oop, we lost it in local services. So we're talking a little bit before about the binding nature of agreements. When the houses transition from the Northern Territory Government, the community houses, to a local Anandaliakwan community housing provider, they'll be locally controlled. And that will be binding. In the homelands, we're working with the Gulkula Poingu leaders in the Blue Mud Bay region around what is important to them. How can we support sustainability on homelands? And what things can the Territory do and other governments do to support a locally led agenda, and Jumbo will talk to that today. I won't. And the last one the Minister alluded to before was the Yolngu Region LDM partnership. This diagram is by an old man from Ramaginning who sadly passed away recently, but shows how government, organisations and the like are not engaging with the Yolngu clans and leaders, and how we can improve that. So the partnership is all about working better together, having those proper and more respectful relationships going forward. I won't do that slide, it's too small. So there's a shed load of work to be done yet. We are starting on a really important journey. It's an exciting journey, one that I personally have found to be very real and resonates strongly in the region. I'm excited to continue it, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jim. We'll hear a few insights from our panel now. So just to introduce them properly, Mr. Garma Wanambi is from Gupuyak Homelands in the Miyaka region. He's the Vice Chair of the ARDS Aboriginal Corporation, an organisation whose objective is to support Yolngu to navigate complex cross-cultural environments. He was also a very long-serving member of the East Arnhem Regional Council. In the middle, we've got Jambawa Marawili, Gulkula Poingu leader from Banyala Homeland in Blue Mud Bay. Jambawa is also a world-renowned artist and a member of the Prime Minister's Indigenous Advisory Council. And on the right-hand side, your left, Mr. Tony Wuramaraba is a senior cultural leader from Groote Island and the chairman of the Anandaliakwa Land Council. It's a position that he's held for many years, and prior to that he had a long history in the administration of local government on Groote Island as well. So Garma, we might start with you because I think this is a really important supporting piece of the work that we're doing. So in Jim's presentation, he talked about the project that we've done with ARDS to develop a Yolngu-specific cultural competency program. Could you tell us a bit about why it's so important for Balanda or non-Yolngu to have a better understanding of Yolngu culture, to bring the two worlds together so we can work together in the future?
But it's not working. Well, good morning all. Good morning. Just to know, my name's Garma again, Wannabe. I'm a Marangu man. Just want to go back how it started. I think this CCT training, I don't know whether this has been presented by some other organizations before or not. Now, last year, I need to start back. Last year, we did a pilot on the program with the whole Northern Territory departments that are working across the whole East Arnhem region to sort of get involved and get to know what is there for Yolngu. And we've been working on that last year as a pilot thing. And the Northern Territory government then said that we need to do it again. So we did get some funding from the Northern Territory government. This is ARTS to do it again. Now we are doing it again, and there's about, I think there's about 13 modules that we've been working on. That'll be face-to-face and online for people to train. The reason why we are doing this, is that we all know that there are two worlds here. There are two worlds here that we need to sort of be aware of, which is the Balanda world and the Yolngu world. Balanda world and the Yolngu world. We need to be aware of that, all of us. Both ends, both sides of the worlds, one is not higher than the other. One is not bigger than the other. One is not huge than the other. Both sides of the world are same size. There are huge on the other side, and there are so many on the other side. Now, to get to know a bit of the sides, you need to know what's on the other side. What's on the Yolngu side is that you need to know, be aware that there is so many, there is huge on the other side. Now, for Balanda to come into an environment like this, into a Yolngu environment, what we are trying to do is to show that there is something in place, something that has been practiced for a long time by our people. We've got it in us. It is part of our culture. We are living in it. We are practicing it. Now, that's the thing. We've got our strong language. We've got our strong beliefs. We've got our Bilma, we've got our Manike, we've got our Yiraki, we've got our clay, the Gamonongo. We've got our Jalkri. Now, those are the things, everything for Yolngu, it comes from these things that I've just mentioned, from our law. Now, Balanda needs to understand that in a way so that we can work together. See, this is the reason why our board said, let's grab this opportunity and we'll use it. We'll create something, a CCT, a cultural competency training for the whole, for rest of the government departments that are working across the whole East Arnhem region. it's not only for the government people, it is for everybody, any Balanda, even the NGOs that are working with the Yolngu people in the community. They need to know. Every Balanda that needs to come into our community needs to know that there is that awareness that is there. We've got that in place. It is there, still strong. And Balanda needs to know that. And we are very strong on that. That's why we are presenting this CCT, the cultural competency training, to the Balanda.
Thank you very much, Garwa, Katu. And just a reminder, as mentioned previously, some of the modules that ARDS have developed are available to trial in the Northern Territory Government and ARDS stand. So please come and see that and get a more detailed look at the amazing Yolngu culture that you would have immersed yourselves in over the last few days. So Jambua, Yolngu leaders have been making decisions for this country for thousands of years. What does local decision making mean now to Jalkari Poingo in developing a future on your country?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, that's the way. Am I happy? Yeah, you don't have to be tired. You don't have to feel guilty from what you did last year, last couple of years. Don't worry about it. I think it is time we are making it sure that whether we are really doing service on community, homeland and with Yolngu people, or whether we are getting something and putting it back on our pocket. So sorry about that, but I have to say something. One of the things I felt that I really wanted to come to Garma, because Garma was given from Blue Mud by Yako too. And today it's Garma now. One of the things that I wanted to come to disobey this Garma, I would like to meet Gomak people. Yeah. They are my Yapa people, Yapa Polo people, sisters family. Look, it was really very interesting for our people in homeland, where we try to get into a detail that it's been really apart from us. One of the things that I will explain to you more, it's about local decision. Local decision in our side, in your own side, those people are nearby and they are there. We always want to make a commitment with them to make sure that the thing must happen in the other end, like in Rhode Island or like in Namboa. This is in the other side. And it's always it always happen. When 3 or 4 people get together on the fire or under the shade there, we talk about it, we make it reality. Then the message go across to Rhode Island, from Rhode Island to Namboa. We get together, we make it happen. And that's through the man ceremonies. And of course, we were trying to do this because in the country themselves, the sea are tightly connected, clan from other clan to other clan, joining together. Yuta Yindi Mari Kotarayapa, the sea in Blue Mud Bay. And we are representing all those areas too. We have totally wanted to really make it a reality, or to make it a resource for our people. One day, here came the message from the department. And the department message was coming from local Northern Territory, was to have communication with other clan group. And here comes the Northern Land Council. They are the people where the voices of our people in the country. We has made it happen because Northern Land Council want to come and join with us. And we made it part. We make a partnership. Yeah? And we did the same what the Constitution and what the rules was there. Yeah? We made it happen. One was Garangale, not Garangale, Nimbarki, a land authority, which is, Nimbarki is place where the rock is, in the sea. A land authority is the voices of the people who are on the land, can make commitment, make a decision for what they wanted. And that for Yirachakadoa to get together in Blumat Bay and around their homeland. And we made it happen. Oh, there's another one. Now today, there's another one which is, it's going to file again. It's about Jalkri Pungo Sagadev. We are ready to make it happen so we can meet all those other people. The voices of those people who never came to a Garma or never came to government, people who never listened to high people who those people are making rules. They are there to represent. And we would like to make Jalkri Bengo decision maker. And it has been already light now. Okay, there is two type of corporation or association or whatever you can call it, I don't call anything because, talking for nothing is nothing. Talking for the right is right. The true way, the honest way to work with people who they are the people who are really tightly connected to talk about the reality, which is Northern Land Council. That should be our people to talk for us. And the government, local government, they are there to submit themselves to work with us to make it a reality. Is it? Or the federal government in Canberra. We are here in Northern Territory. I think it is time for us to work together, live together, make the pathway for our generation to come, make the pathway for our young people to come. Let's stand. Let's work together. Instead of ignoring it, instead of busting other people, their voices, lift them up, and let's walk together on the sun, where the sun is. Not on the fire now. Fire, it's always, when it's got dark, it's little light. Okay, when you walk on the sun, you can see a distance away. Let's walk together. Let's learn together. Let's learn together. We are here to work. We are here to support. We are here to walk along it. To make a unity and a peaceful way and a proper way and a quiet way. That is one of the things that I gave you, the other message. But remember, I was traveling on that place. Along the coast, I was paddling. My father took me around. From Namua to Yirkala. We sailed back from Yirkala to Namua, then to Groote Island. I know those places. I know those waterholes. I know those countries belong to who? I know. I just wanted to put something because I felt something, I have to throw it away. Why do I have to keep all the time? This is not good. Let's share together. Let's share, and I think it is really important. Sorry to give you a really hard one, but I think I have to throw it away. Yeah, in my law, ngorka mangarero. Napo barajunawe, napo yakunawe, yo napo magarada ngorka nawe. Yo, dalal mga magarada ngopan me dialana. Ngapa ke alana room ngro, dialan building. Yo, ara, yo ara ngorka mati balam. Dagulo kola ara kola dale. Yo, ara ko ngai dale rumar cina dale. Yo, Arab tu ngai gangun nama larangil. Be? Yo, I think it's really mind mark. If I've made you feel bad, don't worry about it. It's the wind threw it away. It's gone. Yeah. I think it's really important for us. Let's hear the story from the other side of Bulumat Bay.
Thank you, Jambawa. Just to finish off this morning, Tony, we've heard in Jim's presentation how Warner Mamalia are taking control of services ranging from the delivery and building of housing to education and health, and the work that you've done on long-term economic plans for Groote Eylandt. But I'm just hoping that you can talk a bit about why it is so important for government to listen to local people and what being in control of these services means for securing your people's future.
Okay, I'll stand up. Good morning, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tony Waramarwa. I come from an island south of here, Groote Eylandt. But my traditional country is the second island, then, which is called Pigeon Island. First and foremost, I'd like to pay my respect to the landowners of this country that we meet on. As Jesse said, that I'll give you a brief description of what local decision making means to us. As an Aboriginal person, local decision making is not new to us. It was there when we were born. We were making decisions all the time. So local decision making is not new to us. It's a new term which the government came up with. We were making decisions for thousands of years back. Local decision, through the eyes of myself as an African person living out in the community, you've got to bear in mind that we live in two worlds here. Living in a world that I live in, that's the African world that I live in. But I live in what I call is the dominant world. The dominant world is the balanced world. The Western way of life, that is the dominant culture here. And it's here to stay. We as African people gotta adapt and live and learn the white man's ways. We can't go back in time. We are here to stay. But by staying, we've got to live in both worlds. Local decision, it must be made by the people of the land, the African people, in every community here in the Northern Territory. We don't want people down in Canberra here and down making decisions for us. How to live our lives. That is wrong. It is us who lives out in our communities and deal with day-to-day living in our communities and decisions that we make. I, as an Aboriginal person, don't want people making me, telling me how to live my life out in the community. How would you more feel if government tells you how to live your life? How would you feel? You wouldn't like it? I don't want the same treatment here as well. We are here to make a deal and to live our lives. Local decision for us in Aboriginal communities, it makes things easier. Of course, we can work with the government, the Australian government and the Northern Territory government, work together, give us advice when we need it, but also see the world in an Aboriginal perspective, through the eyes of an Aboriginal person living out in the community. It is us who stays out there, our children and our grandchildren. As I said, we can't go back in time. We've got to live in two worlds here. Whether or not we like it or not, we've got to live with it. But be better at the white man's way of living, the white man's way of thinking, dealing businesses, talking to government people, issues that will affect us. Because we as leaders of today won't be here forever. It will be our children, our grandchildren. We've got to leave a legacy behind and work together. I'm more than happy to work there. I'm happy to work with anyone. I've been the chairman of the India Land Council for 15 odd years now. Whether I like the job or not, it's got to be done. And I tell you, it's very, very stressful when you actually deal with yellow politics, eh? You think white man's politics is tough? No. Try my politics. It is very bad. So I've got to deal with that. The white man's way of politics, plus my own politics. But I've got to have a balance with local decision making. That is where things are being done and be corrected by any of the people who actually come and make deal with us or make commitment. As you all know, probably you heard of this. I've just signed a local decision agreement with the Chief Minister back in Rhode Island. For us, it's a start. As I said, it's not going to be easy. I'll be upfront and honest. Government people won't like taking control of power off them. They'll fight tooth and nail with this. But I've got to negotiate with a compromise. I started off my career as a council clerk or town clerk in my community. Before me, there was white men running the community, telling the community how to run their lives. They were known as town clerks, but I used to call them the town clowns. They were running their own show, let alone I was going to be one of them. But we actually taken control back to the people, to the grassroots level. From an Aboriginal person, you've got to start from the ground upwards, not from the top down, no. It will give us more autonomy, more power on how we deal with our community issues, such as health, housing. Most of our people are being incarcerated in prisons. We're trying to do something for them, build a facility on the island, get them in before it gets worse. Because no one's going to do it for us. We've got to do that. we're actually building our own houses through our royalties. Can't wait for the government. If we wait for the government, we'll be waiting for the next 10, 20 years. That is the reality that we as Aboriginal people live and face living out there. But by having this local decision making coming into our communities, and we as Aboriginal people running our lives, it'll be good. As I said, it's going to be a hard fight, hard struggle, because no government in their right mind won't lose that power. And we know that. So as I said, they've got to come and work together. We as Aboriginal people are here to stay in our communities. Thank you.